From devastating power to icy control, Wladimir Klitschko didn't just rule the heavyweight division, he froze it. This countdown dives into the top 5 wins that defined Klitschko's reign. The nights where patience, precision, and knockout power turned challengers into footnotes. These weren't just victories, they were statements built on discipline, dominance, and total control. As the fights unfold, ask yourself, was this the most dominant heavyweight era ever? Number 5. Ruslan Chagayev, 20th June 2009, Gelsenkirchen, Germany. This was a night of history as much as dominance. Wladimir Klitschko entered the ring defending the IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight titles, with the vacant Ring Magazine championship also at stake, a belt that symbolized true supremacy in the division. Many observers believed Ruslan Chagayev posed a more serious stylistic threat than some of Klitschko's previous challengers. Undefeated, technically sound, and praised for his defense and footwork, Chagayev was viewed by some as a tougher test than the yet-to-come David Haye. The setting alone elevated the moment. The Veltins Arena sold out with over 61,000 fans, the largest boxing crowd in Germany since 1939. Underscoring just how significant this fight was for Klitschko's legacy. Once the bell rang, however, any debate about competitiveness quickly faded. Klitschko delivered one of the most controlled performances of his career. He dictated range from the opening round, snapping Chagayev's head back repeatedly with a precise, authoritative jab, and punishing him with straight right hands whenever openings appeared. Chagayev struggled to close distance and found himself trapped at the end of Klitschko's reach for long stretches. The first major breakthrough came late in the second round, when Klitschko dropped Chagayev, signaling the beginning of the end. As the rounds wore on, Klitschko grew increasingly aggressive, sensing the momentum and steadily breaking Chagayev down with clean, disciplined power shots. By the 9th round, Chagayev's face told the story. Bloodied, worn down, and unable to mount any sustained offense, he returned to his corner battered and exhausted. His trainer, Michael Tim, made the responsible decision not to send him out for the 10th round, prompting the referee to wave the fight off and award Klitschko the victory by corner retirement. The significance of the win went far beyond the stoppage. With this victory, Wladimir Klitschko was crowned the new lineal heavyweight champion, becoming the first man to hold that distinction since Lennox Lewis retired. It was a defining milestone, the moment Klitschko moved from dominant title holder to the undisputed ruler of the heavyweight division. Measured, ruthless, and historic. This was Klitschko at his commanding best. Number 4. Alexander Povetkin, 5 October 2013, Moscow, Russia. WBA, IBF, WBO, the Ring and IBO heavyweight championships. Wladimir Klitschko's victory over Alexander Povetkin was years in the making and long overdue. Originally scheduled for December 2008, the bout was postponed when Povetkin withdrew with an ankle injury. A second attempt in 2010 collapsed amid confusion and controversy, with Povetkin missing the official press conference and his camp citing illness, while rumors persisted that trainer Teddy Atlas believed his fighter was not yet ready for Klitschko. When they finally met in Moscow in 2013, Povetkin entered undefeated, an Olympic gold medalist, and widely regarded as the most credible challenger of Klitschko's reign. What followed was total control. Klitschko dropped Povetkin in round 2 with a sharp left hook and scored 3 further knockdowns in the 7th, including one from a crushing straight right. All 3 judges returned identical scorecards of 119 to 104, reflecting the one-sided nature of the contest. Klitschko landed 139 of 417 punches, 33%, while Povetkin connected on just 59 of 283, 21%. Povetkin's strategy was simple but limited. Rush Klitschko and look for a single, fight-changing overhand right. After tasting Klitschko's power, that plan disintegrated by the middle rounds. Early attempts to rough up the champion caused brief discomfort, but Klitschko reverted to the Emanuel Steward blueprint, the same system Steward perfected with Lennox Lewis, using size, positioning, and clinching to sap Povetkin's energy. The fight was effective but ugly. Klitschko leaned heavily, punched, tied up, and leaned again. While this drew criticism, it was entirely within the rules and devastatingly efficient. Povetkin had no answers. Historically, this win belongs high on Klitschko's resume, but not at the very top. It was a confirmation of supremacy rather than a test of survival or transformation. Povetkin was elite, undefeated, and dangerous, yet never truly close to winning. That balance is why this fight sits best at number 4. Dominant, significant, and long anticipated, but not the defining night of Klitschko's career. Number 3. David Haye's 2nd July 2011, Hamburg, Germany. This was the fight the heavyweight division had been building toward for years. Champion versus champion, style versus style, and legacy on the line. Wladimir Klitschko entered as the IBF, WBO, IBO, and Ring Magazine champion, while David Haye arrived holding the WBA heavyweight title, promising speed, power, and the movement to finally crack Klitschko's dominance. What followed wasn't explosive, it was clinical. From the opening bell, Klitschko imposed his terms. He controlled distance with a stiff, disciplined jab, circled calmly, and refused to be drawn into reckless exchanges. Haye spent long stretches circling, feinting, and waiting to counter, but rarely found a way inside Klitschko's reach. Even when Emanuel Stewart urged Wladimir to increase his activity during the middle rounds, the instruction was clear: stay safe, stay in control. Haye's moments were fleeting. A brief success in the 3rd round hinted at danger, but it was never sustained. Klitschko's positioning, footwork, and timing consistently smothered Haye's attacks, forcing the WBA champion into a frustrating night of lunges, feints, and missed opportunities. A point deduction for Klitschko in the 7th, for pushing Haye down, did little to change the flow, nor did the count Haye received in the 11th after repeatedly hitting the canvas. After 12 rounds, the scorecards told the story: 118 to 108, 117 to 109, 116 to 110, a wide, unanimous decision for Klitschko. With it, he unified the heavyweight division, adding the WBA super title to his collection, and cementing his reign as the division's undisputed ruler. It wasn't a shootout, it wasn't dramatic, but it was one of the clearest demonstrations of elite heavyweight control, and a defining win in Klitschko's era of dominance. Number 2. Chris Byrd, 14th October 2000, Revenge of the Brother. This fight wasn't just about a title, it was personal. Just months earlier, Chris Byrd had shocked the heavyweight division by being awarded a victory over Vitaly Klitschko, after Vitaly was forced to retire with a torn rotator cuff, despite dominating the contest. Many felt unfinished business remained, and that unfinished business came in the form of Vitaly's younger brother, Wladimir Klitschko. At the time, Wladimir was still rebuilding. After suffering his first professional loss to Ross Purity in 1998, questions lingered about his stamina, durability, and temperament under pressure. But heading into this bout, Klitschko had answered those doubts emphatically, rattling off 10 consecutive victories and earning a shot at the WBO heavyweight championship. From the opening bell, this was a very different fight to Byrd's bout with Vitaly. Byrd, a slick, elusive southpaw with excellent footwork and defensive instincts, tried to replicate his previous success by staying mobile, slipping punches, and frustrating the bigger man. But Wladimir fought with patience and maturity that hadn't always been present earlier in his career. Rather than loading up recklessly, he boxed behind a disciplined jab, controlled distance, and steadily accumulated rounds. As the fight wore on, Klitschko's superiority became increasingly clear. In the 9th round, Wladimir broke through decisively, dropping Byrd with a clean shot and asserting his physical dominance. Byrd showed heart and resilience, getting back to his feet and continuing to fight, but the momentum had permanently shifted. Klitschko floored him again in the 11th round, punctuating a commanding performance that left no doubt in the judges' minds. After 12 rounds, Klitschko was awarded a wide, unanimous decision victory, with scores of 120 to 106, 119 to 107, and 118 to 108, capturing his first world heavyweight title and exercising the lingering shadow of his brother's loss. The importance of this win only grew with time. Chris Byrd would go on to win his next 4 fights, including victories over Maurice Harris and David Tua in an IBF title eliminator. When Lennox Lewis later vacated the IBF belt, Byrd defeated Evander Holyfield to become a 2-time heavyweight champion, retroactively adding significant weight to Klitschko's triumph. This wasn't just revenge, it was the moment Wladimir Klitschko truly arrived, proving he could outbox an elite technician, go the distance, and claim his place among boxing's world champions. Number 1. Samuel Peter, 24th September 2005, the Crossroads fight. This was the night Wladimir Klitschko's entire career hung in the balance. Just 14 months earlier, Klitschko had suffered a devastating upset stoppage loss to Layman Brewster, a defeat that reignited every lingering doubt about him. Critics questioned his chin, his stamina, and his ability to survive adversity at the elite level. Concerns already fueled by earlier losses to Ross Purity, Corey Sanders, and Brewster. Though Wladimir had steadied himself with 2 comeback wins, a split technical decision over Deverell Williamson, and a 4th-round TKO of Alicio Castillo, skepticism remained widespread. This fight was widely viewed as a crossroads moment. Win, and Klitschko could still become a champion again. Lose, and the narrative that he was too fragile for heavyweight greatness might never be shaken. Standing across from him was one of the division's most feared emerging forces. Samuel Peter was surging through the rankings, rated inside the top 10 by every major sanctioning body. With his thick-set frame, raw aggression, and concussive power, Peter drew frequent comparisons to Mike Tyson. Tyson himself endorsed Peter as one of his favorite heavyweights from the new generation in an ESPN interview earlier that year. Yet despite the hype, critics pointed to Peter's lack of elite opposition, labeling him slow, crude, and predictable. The bout served as an IBF and WBO title eliminator, with both belts held by former Klitschko adversaries, Chris Bird and Layman Brewster, adding an extra layer of narrative tension. From the opening bell, Klitschko made his intentions clear. Rather than engage recklessly, Wladimir boxed cautiously and intelligently, working behind a stiff jab, landing the occasional straight right, and repeatedly clinching to deny Peter any chance of building momentum. It was a calculated, survival-driven approach, one born of hard lessons learned. The danger, however, was never far away. In the 5th round, a clubbing right hand to the back of Klitschko's head sent him crashing to the canvas. Though he beat the count, he was dropped again just 30 seconds later by a half-punch, half-push that referee Randy Newman ruled a knockdown. The doubts came roaring back, but this time, Klitschko didn't fold. He survived the round and regrouped. As the fight progressed, Wladimir leaned even more heavily on his jab and straight right hand, attempting to slow the relentless advance of Peter, who stalked forward looking for one fight-ending punch. In the 8th round, a solid right hand rocked Klitschko. In the 10th, a thunderous right hook sent him staggering across the ring, before another straight right dropped him for the 3rd time in the fight. Once again, Klitschko rose. He weathered Peter's follow-up assault and fought back with composure and grit, qualities that had so often been questioned in the past. In the final round, Peter briefly wobbled Klitschko with a wild left hand, but Wladimir responded with a sharp left hook of his own that visibly hurt Peter, swinging momentum one last time. After 12 grueling rounds, the judges rendered a unanimous decision, 114 to 111 on all 3 scorecards, a verdict echoed by HBO's unofficial scorer, Harold Lederman. This was not a flawless performance. It was something far more important. It was proof of resilience. From this night forward, Wladimir Klitschko would embark on one of the most dominant reigns in heavyweight history. He would go unbeaten for over a decade, not losing again until Tyson Fury in 2015, and remarkably, he would not be knocked down again in any fight until 2017, when he faced Anthony Joshua. The Samuel Peter fight didn't just save Wladimir Klitschko's career, it forged the champion he would become.